What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Straight No Chaser Cowboys podcast. Listen, man, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. You know, Sunday being the holy day. With my two co-hosts, JC Kimmy and my guy D Brown. Fellas, how we dealing?
Man, I've had it's a Sunday. It's 60 degrees in Dallas, so I'm loving that. It's officially hoodie weather. Been waiting on
Okay.
this for about 3 weeks. It's a sunny day in Dallas, Texas. But man, it's football Sunday, so it's always a good start to the week. I'm still recovering off my LSU Tigers taking one on the chin last night um, against Vanderbilt, team we haven't lost to in 35 years. But hey, streaks start and streaks end, so that's just what it is.
Damn.
But it's Cowboy Sunday. Got a big one. Let's get it.
There it is. And since you're shouting out the colleges, let me give a shout out to my Prairie View Panthers for putting belt to ass to Southern University 24.
Yes, they did in Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge during their homecoming. And shout out to Coach T.
It
Jack.
was homecoming to SU. Yes, sir.
Oh, absolutely. Coach T. Jack said it'd be a cold day in hell for they schedule Prairie View again for their homecoming. Shout out to Coach Jack.
What you think this was?
What you thought this was? My Panthers being in
I love
Florida conference in the SWAC West, and also shout out to UT with that ugly win last night against the Kentucky Wildcats. Woof. I mean, and listen, man.
Didn't see it, but I heard.
Yeah, man, it was bad. It was bad. I watched the whole second half. It was bad. I'll say this, man. It's good to have an ugly win and a bad loss. With that, I turn it over to JC.
100%. JC, where you at?
Hey, yo, I was checking out my boy DB's LSU team take on Vanderbilt. And, of course, the ongoing saga of Diego Paiva and his hot mom up in the stands, right? Like, that's become a thing now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm digging it because, Lil Mama's kind of thick. You know what I'm saying?
You like that?
Like, hey, man, let's just tell it what it is. Let's just call it what it is, partner. You know what I'm saying? They don't always have to be thin, skinny, and blind. You feel me? Coming from Zumba class and shit, right?
Not the Zumba class.
Piper's mom just left tacos while mine and headed to the game. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? But on the cool, hey, but Diego's a baller.
Yes.
That kid, man,
yes.
I'll tell you, he's the Hispanic Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see him, that's what I think, man. He's the Spanish Baker Mayfield. You know, man, he can ball.
Yeah,
I love his energy, man. Him and Scott Tebow. Him and Scott Tebow kind of remind me of each other, man, with the juice and shit. You know what I'm saying? That they got.
Yeah.
So again, man, great football weekend. Obviously, looking forward to today. To play them boys from DC and to get it going on the Straight No Chaser podcast. A pass the joint. Yo.
I like it. Well, gentlemen, we got a show, and you guys in the audience, as always, man, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to give you, listen, win, lose, or draw, we're going to come with that same energy. We're not this Cowboys podcast where we're going to just say every week it's going to be the Super Bowl or every week we're the worst team in the NFL. You won't ever get that over here. Just saying. No. All right. So let's go ahead and get the stinky shit out the way, man. Listen, man, your boy went on vacation last Sunday, and I didn't get to watch a lot of it. But after the show, we was on the road to Arizona. It took about 4 hours drive that way. And I kept peering in on the game. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? what's really going on in these streets? And as we know, our faithful dropped a bad one on the road. Like I said, I'd rather take a bad win over a bad loss. And we lost 30-27 over the Arizona, over the Carolina Panthers. And one of the, and I said this too in the name of the show is Rico's Revenge, ? And your boy Rico Dowdle did his damn thing with 183 yards from scrimmage. Gentlemen, your comments about that not so great loss last week, and just your takeaways and what you think that projects the Cowboys going forward. We always start with D Brown. You know what, JC? I'm gonna start with you today. Just up a little bit.
Man, that one was tough. Again, you know, you can't really talk about trap games in the NFL. You know, your monkey ass better be ready to play. All right, because those guys, again, as we say time and time again, was catching the other side of trying to win. And I was just blown away at how just effectively they were able to run the football. And the fact that really in the end, that the game was really only close because Dallas offense was clicking. And, you know, we've talked about before, you know, when you're getting 5, 6, and 7 a clip every single time, man, it makes it a lot easier to run your offense. And so, you know, our boy Dave Canales down there in Charlotte kind of had a field day with the thing. But I tell you what, man, we have a lot of great nicknames on this show. You know, Lemke is 40 ounce. Maris Leofau is Hawaiian Punch. We've called the former coach McCarthy, McChubrock, Fatty Fat, and Platypus Man as well. You know what I'm saying? I got one for your man George Pickens.
What you got?
And you might remember this, but like there was a ride out at Six Flags called the Spinnaker.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
So it was this wild ass, you know, like the dude from the Spider-Man shot with Alfred Molina was the Mexican crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's George Pickens. All right. Man,
Spinnaker.
When he caught that one and took off, and he's just like, you know, he looked like Plexico or so. He looked like he was 6'6", right? He was all arms and legs. And the second one where he you know, he caught that first down on the sideline, and then is in front of the defender, and just literally does like a DX crash chop right into his face, right? It leaps up, and I'm like, what was that?
Right.
You know, but he hogged out. They really didn't have anybody that could deal with him. They're just like, you know, the Cowboys really couldn't deal with Rico, and it was a. You know, again, Bryce Young struggles under pressure. They didn't really blitz him that much. When they did, the shit kind of worked. He had time to throw, and, you know, really it's just kind of a proof of fact if you give any QB time to throw and you give him a run game, you know, they really probably should have blown the Cowboys out. You know, having that kind of success, and you mix in the fact that they were totally shutting Dallas's run game down, all right, that, you know, Dakota Rain was keeping them in the game, you know, and Pickens, you know, he was keeping them in the game. And Ferguson is kind of what you're starting to see, man, the offense develop. There were a few, very few positives on defense. I think as a Rocker was maybe starting to start the ball a little bit. Leofau, as we said, Hawaiian Punch, as DB dubbed him, the outside linebacker, and sometime Mike linebacker for the Cowboys in passing situations. You know, so those things kind of give you a little bit of hope. Again, it was just defense could not get a stop when they needed to. Absolutely could not get a stop when they needed to. So, you know, that was a tough one because, like the Chicago game, it's a conference loss. You know, so if you're a Cowboy fan and you want the Cowboys to get to the playoffs, what you need to have happen is you need Tampa Bay to wax everybody else in the NFC that they play.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because they're going to win that division anyway. Right? You need them to wax them, okay? And you need only one team out of that division. And obviously when an NFC team plays an AFC team, you need to root for the AFC team, all right? Because as it stands right now, the Cowboys are 12th in the conference or something like that. And Carolina and Chicago have a tiebreaker over them. So that made it even worse. Now, got the Commodores, Commanders, DC coming in today. That's going to be big. We'll jump into that later, and I'll throw it back to the distinguished members of the panel.
Appreciate that. D Brown, what you got?
Man, so to extend what JC just eloquently put out there, and he's absolutely right. The concerning things as far as the game itself, the big thing for me, man, that was on the most discouraging thing was the continuation of what we saw actually against the Jets was just how easily uh, and how much Dallas was giving up in the run game, right? If you remember, Brees Hall was gassed Dallas several times in the Jets game, right? And that was just one of those deals. Okay, we got the pass rush, but let's tighten up, that run defense because it was if you go back to that game, it was pretty bad, and there was a lot of runs 10 plus up the middle, right? And it's like, okay, well, maybe they took a little attention off of that one to get this pass rush going. Let's work on that. Fast forward to last week's game, and it was worse. And I knew pretty early on that it's just one of those because they couldn't stop Dallas through the air. With like JC just said, with George Pickens hogging out like he did. And I know we'll probably get into more about him a little bit later, but Dak's command of this offense and his connection with the offense overall, particularly in the pass game, he's locked in with Ferguson. He's absolutely gotten in a radar lock with Pickens, and that was unstoppable. But the three of us have watched enough football to know, that you're living a very fine line when you are counting on the pass game to move the football. You don't need but one or two plays not to happen if you have no balance when you can't run it. And then to compound what Dallas was giving up on the ground, like JC said, they could not run the football, which was equally concerning. It's like, oh damn. So it was amazing that they were even in it like they were, and somehow I don't know how you guys, Cliff, I know you were traveling. JC, I don't know how you felt when that interference call came when Dallas is finally able to get a stop there in the fourth quarter, 6 minutes to go, and the interference call comes. And I mean, I'm telling you, we've not watched this thing enough. I just knew. I was like, man, they ain't getting the ball back. They're not going to get the ball back. And they didn't. It was the damnest thing. It's like, that's pretty concerning going forward, given what we've seen in this horror show that's been their secondary and their pass defense. And now, given on the strength of the last 2 weeks, the last two games, Dallas' defense is, 29th? They're last overall, but now their run defense is horrible. Their run defense was actually fairly decent. And they went to bed seriously the last 2 weeks. So that's a big concern, massive concern going forward, because it's putting in an even bigger onus on the brilliance of what Dak Prescott has been through 7 games this season and that pass offense. Now, do I think they will get that running game going again? I do. Because they'll eventually get some guys back in that offensive line. Hopefully, they can then hang around, get some continuity going, and get what's been a pretty good early half of the season with Javonte Williams. They didn't have a good week last week. I expect that part of it to bounce back. Obviously, the biggest concern, and there's a lot of local media, a lot of national media attention to it, is what in the hell is Dallas going to do, or can they do, to shore up some semblance of defense, both through the air and on the ground. There's been a lot of talk, and it's kind of cringeworthy that it starts from Jerry Jones, talking about them going back man. I'm looking at articles through the week where they being the defensive secondary and linebackers, whatnot, they're actually doing drills, working on man coverage. So, and now you're forced to think, well, if that doesn't work, right? When you've got, you got quarterbacks that's coming up on your schedule that have really good passing attacks, and really good receivers, guys that can spin it. So we'll see. But hopefully more of the same from Dak Prescott and company. They're going to need it. Getting some guys back. Obviously, the biggest being CeeDee Lamb. But, man, that was a real disappointing, watch last week, man, just to see how man, Carolina was just downright arrogant running the football. It's like, you know, I mean, they was like some Debo shit. You know, that's my bike, punk. I mean, they couldn't stop him at all, man. They just like, I'm gonna take this shit. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna give this last reference before I landed here. JC, you remember the old? This is the AARP section of the show. JC, you remember the old movie Billy Jack?
Yeah, it's definitely for you old motherfuckers. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Billy Jack.
Billy Jack. Yeah. So
his foot,
I'm gonna take this foot. I'm gonna put it on that side of the face. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. That's actually a quote, Cliff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send it to you later on. But bro,
I don't know nothing about that.
It's mind you, he's standing right in front of him, right? He's not like way over there. He's standing right in front of him, and then he does it. I mean, he takes his right foot and puts it on the left side of the dude's face. He's like, ain't a damn thing you can do about it. That was the Carolina run game.
There you go.
Right. It's like, I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna hand this ball to Rico Dowdle. There's not a damn thing you'll be able to do about it. And he had, I think, 8 or 9 runs over 15 yards. That's just disrespectful, man. But this is where the wheels touch the tarmac. Of all the horrific, I mean, we've got several defensive performances to point to in this first half of the season that have been really, really bad. That one last week by far was the worst. So hopefully, that's the worst it'll get, and that's where I landed.
Man, they miss Booker and Beebe real badly. Start the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, man, I can reconcile that. Well, I'm gonna put it like this, man. Again, as I miss big chunks of the game, driving, obviously, I'm gonna say this. From what I see right now, I don't want to jump to conclusions because we do have a lot of key guys out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's to be noted. Obviously, you know, Sedarian Lamb being at the top of the list. If I understand, Overshown. Is he coming this week or is it like in the next coming weeks?
I think in the coming weeks, but he's on the cords, which is a good thing.
He's turning the corner. All right, bet.
Yeah, he's definitely turned the corner. They're looking at a November return. Realistically, Cliff, you're probably looking Thanksgiving week.
Okay. All right. So about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
About 3-4 weeks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that being said, I mean, listen, man, at the end of the day, by the numbers, we lost to a team that's 3-0 at home. So the Carolina Panthers are a, pretty pedestrian football team, but they know how to win at home by hook, by crook. This is what they're doing. Rico Dowdle right now is just balling, out his mind right now. Very Jeremy Linish.
Nice reference.
You know what I mean? Of 2012, 2011, I believe the year was, where he's just on like a career just path, or I even go Hassan Whiteside, with just like, what the hell is going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I think when the dust settles, when the liquor chills down a little bit, I don't think Rico Dowdle's going to be a world beater for next year going forward, is my point I'm making, right? So if you told me that we lost on the road with Bryce Young throwing 17 for 25, very efficient, for 200 yards passing, only a 52.8 quarterback rating. Okay. If you told me that Tiator, I know I'm gonna butcher his name, McMillan, the big rookie sensation, only had 29 yards catching. Huh?
Tiator McMillan.
Yeah, what JC said. Yeah. So if you told me he only had 29 yards catching, I'd be like, okay, that's a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you put it all together and we give up 400 yards again of offense, this is just the obvious thing, man. Why are we sitting on this Eberflus problem? This is the goddamn thing every single week. Oh, we should play man. Well, let the players learn the zone. Well, we can do a hybrid. We can do a mix. Well, we good with our staff. Come on, man. Like, it's the same thing in a different iteration every week. Because this is the team we supposed to beat. I'm sorry. I said beat their ass last prognostication, and I meant that. I don't care how well they play at home. This is what they're supposed to be. And on the other side of the spectrum, if you told me Dak Prescott went for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 90 quarterback rating, and George Pickens had 168 yards in a tub, I'm like, oh, that's a dub.
Yeah, man.
But then you look over side of the fence, Javonte Williams has been extraordinary for us this year. 13 carries for 29 yards. Yeah, that's not good enough. Jaden Blue, rookie, he needs some work. First time out there, 3 carries for 0 yards. I mean, anything need to be said about that? So what it tells me is we have a consistency problem. We, even though personnel is missing, and I think it's, excuses are what they say, tools are incompetent. However, it does explain a few things away. But we play down to competition. This is what we do. Because when it's the big game, Eagles, Packers, motherfuckers come with their
That's an excellent point.
You wouldn't tell that we was just this team that would lose on the road to this weak ass Carolina Panthers team by how we played the Packers, how we played the Eagles. Bro, so it makes me wonder. Now, as much as we give Schottenheimer so much credit for getting the guys going, getting them up, this is some Jason Garrett shit right here.
Fair.
We giving up games that we should be putting belt to ass. I don't care who on the field, next man up. Right now, I get it. He's only 7 games in as a first-time head coach. But you know what? Wasn't nobody saying that shit about Sean McVay. Wasn't nobody saying that shit about Cliff Kingsbury, so on and so forward. Fair. So in short verse, ain't no damn excuses. You are from NFL royalty. You should have your team prepared to understand that this is a game that we cannot drop. So we talked about again that, Rico Dowd, he shot call. He Babe Ruth this motherfucker.
He really did. Then he went out and Shohei.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it hurts.
It hurts. So ultimately speaking, man, so what team is this that's going to show up today? Because again, we have a propensity to play to the talent, and that shows me that we may be prepared in the books, but are we prepared up here? Because being a person who played sports at a pretty high level, man, it's just personal pride got kicked in somewhere. Because somewhere I'm saying we're not losing no goddamn Carolina Panthers, man. I'm sorry. We're just not. We're just not.
They literally have to be perfect on offense to win.
Huh?
They have to be perfect. And they were a 98 or a 99 against Carolina, but Dak missed Pickens on the inside release on that third down when they only got a field goal late in the game. Running wide open right across his face, and for some reason Dak didn't go there. So other than that, they were no sacks, no turnovers. Now the run game couldn't get going. But no sacks, no turnovers. And they got a turnover. Right? Well, that's what just to have a chance to win, even if he hits Pickens on that, which I mean, that was just an easy play. Very shocked that he missed it, seeing it from the back. And it is very nitpicky on my part, but that's what the team needs. They have to be perfect in order to win. Even if they hit him there, okay, you just have a chance to win. Because, yeah, man, for all intents and purposes, Carolina was going to go back down the field and score a touchtown.
But I don't think our run game ain't give a shit.
Got a question. Fellas, that JC just brought up. I actually wanted to ask this. I thought about this during the show because it was driving me crazy, Cliff, watching it on TV as the game was unfolding. And JC just brought this up, and I'm going to pose a question. Man, it was JC. Did you find it just mind-numbing? Because you just said they didn't give up any sacks. As a matter of fact, I don't know that Dak really looked like he was in trouble when he dropped back to pass. But, dude, they could not run block for nothing. Like, I felt bad. But I mean, it was – the run blocking was so bad, well, non-existent. It went past bad. It was non-existent to the point where I know just right in my head, especially damn near on all of Jaden Blue's carries, as soon as Dak put it in his gut, the first, you would like to see the back of your offensive lineman hat on hat, battling the guy in front. The first guy that either of the running backs saw was somebody in blue. I mean, they were getting whipped, dog whipped up front. And it's like, as great as their pass blocking, how can he be this poor? Run blocking. I mean, it was that extreme on both ends. They look really good protecting Dak Prescott, and they look piss poor
They're both
blocking
guys.
for Williams and Blue.
Yeah.
Say again.
Hoffman and Bass are different guys than BB and Booker. Totally different. Those two guys are maulers. But the other guys, Hoffman and Bass, they're better pass protectors and so-so run blockers. They don't have the devastating power of a BB and a Booker. And you can muddle your way through a game or two without those guys.
Like the Jets game.
It's supposed to catch up to you. You know, those injuries catch up to you. You can win a game. You can lose a guy and win a game. You can lose your best player and win a game. But at some point, man, all that shit catches up to you. And it's catching up to them up front. That's what this team is built to do, is to run inside, get the tight end off, feature CD and Pickens on the outside. It's a great, great, great philosophy. All right. But the fact of the matter is, you lose something when you go from BB and Booker, who are big, powerful dudes, to Bass and Hoffman, who were more scrappy types.
No, that's fair.
There it is. There it is, man. Because I guess that was on the strength of, they ran the ball pretty well the week previous, right? So I'm thinking, is the Panther line that much better than the Jets line? I didn't see that. Like, again, and it'd be different if Dak was, as soon as he stuck his back foot in the ground, tucking tail, having to make incredible throws on the move, but that wasn't the case. I mean, he was standing up there, pat it, let it rip, go through his progressions, and that was that. But they could not run the ball for shit. And I was like, man, what the hell is going on? It was almost as demoralizing as watching Rico kill him. Say again?
Both lines look really good run blocking against the Cowboys for sure. But like you said, supposedly the Jets were the better of the two lines.
Wow.
Shit.
Yes, so.
I mean, the Cowboys melded the two defenses. Last year's letting everybody run all over them, and this year's motherfuckers running wide ass open. They said, let's meld the two. Right?
Yeah.
It ain't working, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all kind of things, kind of bring it all to a capstone. It's a disappointing loss. That's the loss we're not supposed to make. Do we have to, what do we have to fix as far as the O-line? Obviously, guys been out. I think CD Lamb's coming back today, so that's great.
Yeah, pro.
So if to Joey's point, we played perfect. We probably can be a little more perfect. And it just so be it. If we got to do that for a few weeks, then so be it. But that's not what we were. And we don't deserve, or we don't need to be dropping games like that last week. That's just the nuts crux of it. Yep. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see y'all super active today, man. Shout out to
loving it.
Shout out to my guy Pat Okafor. Shout out to his son Maverick, man. His son Maverick is ranked amongst the top of all Houston prospects out there.
Loving it.
Yeah, man. Young man balling like Bo Diddley. Shout out to Between Game Sports as always.
Game. What's up, my guy?
And shout out to is one more you talk shit. MF and Messiah. I think you're a Texan fan, so curb your enthusiasm, my boy. Curb it. All right, so moving on the show. The Lucky Whitehead Award. Let's go ahead and drop that graphics in.
My bad, y'all. I thought the graphic was ready to go.
No, you good, man. Drop it.
Let's do it. As soon as I can find it.
All right, so for those who don't know, the Lucky Whitehead Awards for the unsung hero, just a great play that just sticks out in your mind because that's what Lucky Whitehead was. Everywhere he's landing spotted, I know he may think a little differently. And also, guys, if you do not follow us on Twitter, follow us on No Chaser Podcast on Twitter. So we trying to get the Twitter fingers active so we can go into some more conversation out that way as well. So y'all be on the lookout for that too. Well, it's active, so y'all actively do it. I'll drop that in the chat actually.
There we go.
So you got that Lucky ready to go. We gonna rock out.
All right, I'll give mine. I'm gonna go with Florida. Now that CD Lamb is back.
Hold on.
I got lucky.
There we go. Lucky Whitehead Award. JC, go ahead, man. You was rocking.
All right, I'm gonna go with Flournoy, right? Who caught a few passes and did some things, so forth and whatnot. But now that CD Lamb is back, he can take his ass back to kickoff and punt coverage.
I like it. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go. Man, I'm gonna go with George Pickens, man. George Pickens is slowly just winning my heart over. I thought that CD Lamb had my heart. George Pickens is just slowly chipping away with athleticism. And you can tell when a guy comes to a new situation and he feels more energized. That the catch when he jumped over that son bitch, man, I was even though it's kind of inconsequential at the end of the day. Yeah, man. I'm just loving the 168 in the tub. I'm giving it to George Pickens because from a disgruntled receiver coming here and actually being very productive, just overall, yeah, man. George Pickens.
I'm going to go with George Pickens with a little bit different descriptor as to why I'm picking him for the lucky. Because, George Pickens, usually the lucky goes to a guy that kind of comes out of nowhere or makes the unsung play, like a Flournoy, like 40 ounce, got guys like that, Hawaiian Punch makes the play a few weeks ago. So, but I'm going with Pickens due to the fact that some of the plays that he made that were just completely unexpected. Cliff, you brought up one when he just jumps over the guy, right? Yeah. JC referenced one in the opening of the show where he takes a pretty routine pass and he's got just like a nanoteenth of space on the sideline, and somehow he spins, and he goes another 18 yards, and he's got like maybe a yard and a half between boundary and field to work with. It's like, how the hell did he progress the ball? So I'm gonna give him the lucky based on this play, which was the play he scored a touchdown on, because that is a routine slant. And I've seen him make plays after the fact, and I know he can run, but man, to see him take a routine slant, split safeties, and go another 25, 30 yards on a dead sprint, and they didn't come close to touching him, man. I didn't quite know that George Pickens, I know he's a big, physical, athletic, high pointing, difficult catch guy. That was what he was billed coming in here. You could, stretch the field, make it difficult, 50-50 ball catch, what have you. But man, what I've seen of him to this point, but that particular play, it blew my doors, man. He's like, that was a routine slant, and he just, split those safeties and goes in untouched for that touchdown at a very critical part of the game, by the way. I was like, man, what in the living hell have the Cowboys found in this dude?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that just on that play alone, just the wow factor from a routine play that turned into a very big play at an opportune time of the game. That's why Pickens is getting the lucky for me this week.
There it is. And I tell you what, I'll say this one last thing. As a UT fan, George Pickens is everything that we thought Roy Williams was going to be for.
That is an outstanding comparable. That's an outstanding comp. That's a terrific comp. Yep. And mind you, it was justified, Cliff. The reason I like that is because I literally saw that same Roy Williams against my LSU Tigers literally destroy them in the Cotton Bowl by himself.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, that's when I knew that the Roy Williams you're describing that I thought would translate to the NFL was that guy. Because I think he went for like 11 for like 215 and 2 or 3 tubs in that game. Look, against a pretty good defense. I'm like, man, this dude's a freak. But yeah, that's a great comp. Really good comp there.
Yeah. So shout out to George. And it only cost us a third with Roy cost us a first and some other stuff. So
and some Maylocks.
Yeah. So great segment. So Lucky Whitehead Award every week. I hope y'all and matter of fact, in the comment section, I want y'all to start dropping y'all Lucky Whitehead Award winners.
Let's fire that up.
if you don't agree with one of ours. So I do want to see that going forward. So, all right. So let's put a little change in your pocket, $5 to your Cash App. We're going to do the Cash App for the Cowboys trivia questions in if we have that queued up. Not going to be too hard. All right, so Cowboys trivia question is, in the 1994 NFC Championship game against the 49ers, which little-known Cowboys receiver caught a touchdown pass from Troy Aikman? And here's a hint. It's his only postseason touchdown of his career. Who is this receiver? You got 30 seconds.
Nice.
Ooh-wee.
Very nice.
See the crest?
It ain't that hard.
My homeboy from Belt.
Zed say Nate Newton.
He comes.
Damn, Zed. That'd have been the highlight of all highlights.
Man, for real though.
That'd have been the highlight of
Hey, man, if somebody out there knows what I'm talking about when I say Velt, then they already know.
Oh, yeah. No, you know I know.
Away.
Yeah, you know I know. When you said see the crest.
Anybody want to drop it? Got about 10 more seconds, y'all. $5 in your pocket. Free money. Free money. Will say I can't go back that far. All right, y'all missed the opportunity for the free $5. That's $5 more for your boy. I might get the corner store, get a little something. All right, so for the OGs out there, fellas, y'all want to drop the answer? I know y'all know it.
Oh yeah, that'd be one Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams, K-Dub.
The great Kevin Williams.
Yeah,
I saw him at the liquor store after the Redskins game. He was cool as fuck.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. Good friends, actually with his sister, and matter of fact, Cliff, she was a regular at the Q for a long time, and yeah. So shout out to Kato, man, absolute Roosevelt High School legend. Matter of fact, yeah, did his thing at the U. That's why I threw that one up. Did his thing at the U. Speedster, absolute beast. Shout out to my man Kato. Yep.
There you go. Well, I appreciate y'all for again tuning in. Y'all missing y'all $5 opportunities. I mean, listen, man, $5 for me, I can go somewhere. I can put a little something.
Man, going forward, let's file that Looney's Classic on this segment, man. I got 5.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Hey, because back in the day, in your boy college days, $5 could take you to a little rendezvous with somebody's daughter. Man. Just saying, $5 valuable back then.
Budget master with $5.
In my days of Dallas, Texas. At Mountain View College. Shout out to Mountain View College out there in Oak Cliff. All right, so let's do it, man. So 2 more topics, man, before we get out y'all's way today. So we alluded to this a little bit. We talked about the run defense, how it's just been very porous, with Rico shot calling and delivering, and then some, putting up a Bill 83 on us. So I've been hearing some rumblings about a few moves that the Cowboys can make before the trade deadline and what have you. Guys, do you put any stock in us making a move to shore up that D-line or the linebacker core for that matter before the trade deadline to get us some better results?
Man, I'm gonna jump on this one real quick.
Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. And I'm gonna ask the question: for what? We're not a trade away. And I don't know that you can go make a trade that magically changes the tone and timbre of what this defense is not. Right. Even for example, I think I saw a comment in the chat. If only Dallas had an elite pass rusher. Okay, they'd have an elite pass rusher, and would that be effective? Sure. Does that cure the ills of this defense, or what ails this defense as a unit going forward over the remainder of this schedule? No. I think you And I think you do the best with what you got. I think you realize that this was a middling team coming in, right? Some of the question marks that were answered, some of the question marks that we had, like who's going to run the football, what was that going to look like, what's George Pickens going to contribute? Some of those questions clearly answered, right? Is that offensive line going to progress? Save for the injuries, absolutely. You can see where they're trending the right way. But the defensive questions, obviously with the Micah trade, where's the pass rush going to come from? Well, it's not altogether non-existent, but it's pretty inconsistent. And then the run defense. I mean, Kenny Clark has come in. Kenny Clark overall has been pretty productive. I don't know if some of these last 2 weeks guys have seen something on film that helped offset what he's been, because he was pretty disruptive the first few games. And actually, Dallas's run defense was actually, as far as the weekly rankings go, was actually pretty decent. I think you got to demand more from your big money free agent on that side of the ball. No Diggy Zua. I don't hear his name enough. So you got to demand some things there, because you're paying him a hell of a lot of money. And I mean, you got the big guy in Kenny Clark. Linebacking situation when you got Overshown coming back. I think you've got some things blossoming with Leofile, but I don't think you waive some of this draft capital that you picked up from the Micah Parsons trade for this season. I think you've got to look at it from the window perspective. The window being the remainder of Dak Prescott's contract, and this is where I landed. The reason I don't think you give that up is because I think if you give away some of that capital now for what I would call the Band-Aid fix now, that's really not going to fix the problem. This thing doesn't need a Band-Aid. This thing needs penicillin, right? So,
all right.
If you look at where Dallas is set up now, and I'm going to use the key words, under contract, Dallas has a bunch of principal pieces under contract right now offensively, right? And you're looking at this thing from Dak Prescott's situation with his contract deal, the remainder of this deal, the half of this season, the next 3 years. You've got Lepke, you've got Ferguson, you've got CD, you've got 4/5 of the offensive line, all under contract. You've got Kevontae Turpin under contract. So now that puts an onus on getting Aubrey signed, George Pickens signed, free agency, right? If you do that offensively, that offense is smoking for the next 3 years. So now does that put your emphasis as far as this draft capital that you've acquired from the Micah Parsons trade and your picks anyway over particularly the next 2 seasons, is the defensive side of the ball. That's why I think they need to vote that. I don't think they need to pull a midseason deal now, because I don't think it fixes ultimately what needs to be restocked and revamped as an overhaul, not a quick fix for this year. That's where I'm at.
I do not hate that take whatsoever. JC, what you got? And
okay, so on Pickens, all right. Hey, I love the guy, but dream of the dream, that dream's over. The Tennessee Titans are going to give him 35 to 38 million. Period. That's done. I'm just telling you right now. They've got the space. He played his ball at University of Tennessee. That's done. So enjoy him while you can, which I'll take the opposite tact of my man DB and say, you got to value this season while you got an upright Dakota Rain Prescott. And you got Pickens on the squad, along with Sedarian and Jake Ferguson. Okay. You need to value this season. Okay. So of the potential trades that you can make, the 3 guys that come up, interestingly enough, all have DFW connections. Max Crosby played his high school football in DFW.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett played his high school football in DFW. All right. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Simmons. All right. I'm friends with his father, who lives over in Fort Worth. And so he has a place here, in the DFW area. Now, I don't think that you have the ammo to get Garrett, but I'm not seeing them sending 2 number 1s for Garrett. I'm not seeing it. It defeats the whole purpose of the Micah trade. because Garrett makes the most money out of these three guys. Okay. Crosby probably is not the cure for what ails you, although he's a dynamite football player. That kid can ball. He can straight up play. To me, the guy that you need to get is Jeffrey Simmons. Now, I've seen other podcasts, okay, where they say, oh, well, you know, he's a defensive tackle, and you have a lot of defensive tackle money tied up. Look, man, the dude made the top 100 list as a defensive end and a defensive tackle. All right? When you see him get down the line, okay, you immediately understand he can totally play left end and first and second down, and then he can spell Clark in these nickel and dime situations and play the three technique. He can totally handle it. And I believe that you know, go Ron Jaworski on you, that he could possibly be, you know, the guy that could make that difference. I really believe that. And I believe that you call Tennessee right now and get and say, hey, we'll give you a 1. You're not interested? Okay, fuck off. Seriously. Don't bullshit around, man. You did the shit with Cooper and it worked. It worked.
It did.
People say, well, one guy can't. One guy bullshit. One guy in the right spot. We've talked about this time and time again in the baseball or football analogy. Get a stud pitcher, man. He knocks everybody down in the rotation a little bit. Right? Now the guy that was your 1, he's your 2. You know what I'm saying? You're cold chilling. Now, when you get Jeffrey Simmons, all right, and he is the predominant guy in your left end snaps, okay, trust me, a horse like that next to Osa, who is an upfield guy, would make a huge difference. Instant fucking taneously.
How old is he, JC?
I don't think it'll happen, but that's what I believe.
He's 28, Cliff?
28.
Simmons? Interesting. That's why we have
28.
I love it.
He ain't a young buck, but he ain't necessarily long in the tooth either. That's kind of that little special age right there.
Correct.
Where, because, you know, it's pretty much a death sentence around 31, 32. It's just like, all right, that's a grandpa. JC, I don't hate that.
No, that's the strong take.
28.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Yeah, I'm with that. Okay.
He's 28, man. He's been a Pro Bowler. He's a top 5 guy.
Well, listen, man. And shout out to Between the Game Sports dropping 2 on it, man. He said to help pay for the penicillin.
That was awesome. My bad.
So I appreciate that super chat on that. Yeah. That's funny.
I've been burned.
So listen, man, both of y'all make compelling arguments. D Brown more of like the wait and see because Pickens inevitably is going to move on. JP's going with this season salvageable, referencing the Amari Cooper situation because most of us thought that season was lost.
Yes. That's a great point. Great point.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean,
that happened.
Who can forget the Allen Hurns and Tavon Austin, Dak Friendly?
That 100% happened. Yes. That happened.
And Amari Cooper came and we was a whole different goddamn football team. That's just facts.
So that happened.
With that being said,
3-5 when he actually got in the first game?
25 when we brought him in. 25.
Wow. That's a great point.
And some people say he wasn't worth the first. So, but he was worth the first,
yes, he was.
You know, in retrospect. So with us having a glaring hole with our rush defense, and I mean, in some ways our pass defense, rush rather. Yeah, I'm not against that at all. I guess my fans' wet dream is to get Myles Garrett back out here or Max Crosby, of course. I hope the Raiders just give up, or even the Browns for that matter. You got rid of Joe Flacco, so now you're going to your 2 rookie quarterbacks. And I'm just hoping for, you know, well, I mean, on the outside, you got Judy and you got was it Joku over there for the Browns? Like, so.
But does Carroll want to do a rebuild? Is Carroll there for a rebuild? He is 72. I don't know if they're gonna dump Crosby.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they even care about Pete Carroll's wants and needs and desires.
Fair question.
Staying with the Browns.
Yep.
I wonder if Myles Garrett's like, okay, I've seen enough. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing, and he puts pressure on the front office. So I mean, that remains to be seen. He doesn't seem to be that type of guy, but who knows? Again, that's my fans' wet dream for that to happen like that. So with that being said, from a pragmatic standpoint, that's the only real big moves I can really see. Something on our D line. That's pretty much the only thing that's out there. Offensively, I don't think we need anything. So yeah, man, I guess that's the conundrum we're in. It's like, can one of those guys force themselves out of one of those situations because one of those two teams want to rebuild and restart? Or do we hold pat, to D Brown's point, and just build off of the momentum of this year, which no fan likes that. That's not the sexy take.
Not at all. No.
But sometimes that's just what has to happen to move forward to the next season.
And to boy off that, and I don't think the starting point was as bad. Cliff, the bookend of what you just said, where the impetus of my point comes from what I saw Detroit do, right? Like Detroit in probably year 2 or 3 of the build that Big Dan started. Like they didn't start from that low of a point, but you could see it coming. When Big Dan got it going, there was buy-in. They were competitive in a lot of games they should have won. But before they really turned the corner. So that was kind of the framing in my head is like, wait a minute, all of a sudden, to my Dallas's offense, man, you got a lot of pieces. And I agree with you, JC. I mean, is it likely that they keep Pickens? No. Do I think they make a run at him? There's no question. And I'm certainly not going to hang on the fact that, that he's like, man, when I hear statements like he made this week, Pickens, I'm talking about, I wouldn't mind, staying here. Well, that there's no, there's nothing compelling or there's nothing committal about that. And why would he? Him having the season that he's having. But the point you make up about being a Tennessee guy.
Ass open this year?
I'm sorry?
Is it not wide ass open this year? Does it not look like it's wide ass open this year?
You mean the season?
Division?
Yeah. No. I said I love your point because in that, there's no runaway deal happening with the East. I'm not talking about the NFC, just with the East. I mean, even with all that we bellyached about on this show today, you look at the standings and the reality of the situation is Dallas is in the mix for the East. That's crazy. So your point is exceptionally well taken. I'll just shedding a little light on why don't accept the Jets, right? Very true. That was the mindset that I had, in thinking of the build, given just how things kind of fell for Dallas offensively all of a sudden in terms of under contract. So devote all of this draft capital now and what have you, given the success they've had in the draft, relatively speaking, I'm talking about, from an organizational standpoint, Dallas, the last few years, especially at the top end of it, right? I mean, you could get some things fixed really quick. And then that too goes under contract deal because now you have that contractual control of prime young talent that you can get in here, and you're not having to worry about the hit of the big money you got on the other side of the football. That was the framework. But I totally get your point, and I love where you went with that, JC, because more than likely you're absolutely right about Pickens. And when you bring up the Amari deal, and both of you did, I mean, we all thought that season was cooked. And that one trade, they lost one game in the back half, won the division. Then they won the playoff game that year too, right?
Who we played?
Seattle?
Yeah.
Seattle year? Yeah, I think so.
There you go. So who knows? Matter of fact, you've given me something a little more to think about on that front. So that was outstanding point. But hey, that's why we have takes.
That's why we have discourse, man.
I love
it may be a point that you didn't quite think of
100%.
that we mixed together and we come up with a take.
That's why this show is what it is.
There you go, goddammit. Because I ain't gonna lie, both of y'all swayed me on that free agency one. So I came in with my own taking, and you guys definitely both gave great points. All right, so moving forward as we round the show out, because your boy got to go to work, get on to the slave ship. So we got week 7 against the Commodores, the Commandoids, or whatever they are, the Decepticons. Right now at a 3-3 record. As things stand, they have a dub against the Giants, a loss against the Packers by 2 touchdowns, a win against the Raiders, nobody cares, loss against the Falcons. They beat the Chargers. That's impressive. And last week, eking out a win against the Bears, 25-24. So as we know, as the name of the show is lamenting to is Dan Quinn. Huh?
Didn't the Bears beat DC last week?
I'm so sorry. They lost to DC. Sorry. I mean,
DC won.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at it right in my face, and I see it the other way. Good, good correction.
Are you getting old, sir?
Yeah. I know it in different ways.
Comes to us all.
But no, okay, so I appreciate the correction though. But no, but to kind of lament what I'm saying, Dan Quinn, we meet again. This is going to be a big game.
Yes.
From a divisional standpoint. It's going to be a big game from a personal standpoint. Obviously, being our former DC, going over to being head coach, doing a really good job last year. So as we round the show out, gentlemen, just some of the things you see about what you see about this game, and then we'll finish with some predictions, and then we'll get on to glory. So, D. Brown,
sure.
Insights, things you see for this game today against the DC Commodores.
Man, you let in with it perfectly, and that this is a huge game because of it being a divisional game. They always mean more, especially in light of the point that we just highlighted, that you look at this division, all of a sudden it is muddled. It is there for the taking. As weird and as crazy and at this time disappointing as hell from the Cowboy perspective as this season has been, you look at it and nobody's running away with it. As a matter of fact, it's the division is almost, begging to be, taken control of. This is one of those games that keeps you in that conversation. And every game has a big implication to it week to week when you're talking about the Cowboys. This one, not any different. And I would dare say, because you've already had the division loss with the team that is ahead of you in the Eagles, this is big for a lot of different reasons. And I think even bigger because it is a division game. And I think there's opportunity here because it's going to be competitive as hell. I think you've got 2 outstanding quarterbacks. Shout out to the young LSU Tiger, Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, leading the charge against the Cowboys. And we've talked ad nauseum about how great Dak has been, save for what's happening down in Tampa. I think, he's would squarely be in a better record. I think he would squarely be in the MVP conversation. But he's going to have to be that today. Now, what's interesting and what's opened up from an opportunity, as Zen has put forward, is that Cowboys win puts them over the Commanders in the division. That's massive. Yep. That is absolutely massive because all of a sudden, gents, we're at the halfway point of the season, and you have an opportunity here. If you're talking Dallas, as bad and as porous and as Old Testament horrible as they've been on defense at times, including last week, McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are both out.
Yes.
That is massive opportunity if you're the Dallas
Cowboys. And it's manna from heaven.
It really is manna from heaven. I mean, Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, given with what this defense has been, not look like, has been in the first half of the season, this would be a horror show, right? Where it was like, man, you open that door and the dude with the big butch knife is standing there waiting to stab you 27 times. But the monster that are Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin are not there. So that said, Dallas has to take advantage of this.
Absolutely.
Jaden Daniels is a dynamic talent. He can make, as you well know, dynamic plays with his legs and his arm. He is maturing as a young quarterback at a fast rate. I think he's got the perfect situation to develop with an offensive coordinator like Cliff Kingsbury. And so I think it's a great situation for him. But as far as this matchup goes, that's two massive weapons for him that they're missing. I think Dallas has to take advantage. And to Cliff's earlier point about the excuses, there are none. And I think it was a great point. Man, you gotta have some pride. You gotta have man up. You gotta realize the situation. And damn it, for no other reason, this is a division rivalry. Man, this is Dallas Washington. I mean, they can't come in here and get this game. That means a lot to both teams, right? And you come in here hobbled, that's your bad. This is an ass whipping you've got to take. And that's I think the attitude that the Cowboys have to have. And I think they've got to find it today and get a win against a significantly hobbled Commanders team.
Yeah. And JC, before you go real quick, I thought that was a very salient point, because it's like every week we're the ones deficient. We got Overshown out. We got the hodgepodge O-line.
Mm-hmm.
We got CD Lamb out. So, it's pretty well. We got Miles Sanders out, our backup running back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's pretty good to go against a division rival, especially, who's having similar fate. Also with Zach Ertz out, which is, well, he's questionable, which is, we know, a young quarterback's best friend having a safety valve tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it shouldn't be no excuses. All right, JC, you got it.
I'm seeing a hinky game, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
where they're out there literally wilding, right? Like, I'm seeing a crazy game today, man. You look at the people that are out, for DC. Hey, Cowboys have got people out too. All right, we all know that it happens. It's tough with receivers because there's a chemistry thing, and that does hurt them, man. And they haven't had McLaren all year, so not having him again, not much of a adjustment. I mean, they may have had him earlier, but they haven't had him for a while. So him being out is not as much of an adjustment. I mean, they still got Zach Ertz, right? Who, man,
Well, he's questionable.
we need to stop and give Zach his flowers, man. This cat is solid as the day is long. He's a good player, good tight end, man. He's done it with 3 teams.
Yep.
But that being said, in terms of, what it looks like, the Cowboys getting, a boost at home, that kind of a thing. The Reds, I'm always saying Redskins. The Commanders played a Monday night game.
Mm-hmm.
And, that, even though it was a home game, all of those things kind of come into play on this one. I would have said, with just the hinky, there's that word again, nature of the Cowboys, that if this was a fully loaded DC team, like the outfit last year that they went up and Turpin spent on them, and that was that, I would say that the Cowboys would
double spin. 2 spins. Double spin on the wall.
Spent on them boys, man. Man, I lost it with that, and I loved it. I would say that this will be, again, a hinky or strange game, if you will. And it's going to be wild. I'm going to go DC 25, Dallas 24.
Okay. All right, JC.
Hit us with the prediction, no less.
Yeah, that boy slipped that thing in there like a when he give you that $20 handshake. Like, oh shit, appreciate that,
Right.
All right, okay, shit. Damn. Okay, you put the heat on us. All right, I'll go. From what I'm seeing, what they put up is they can put up a lot. All right, I'm gonna go 31-23. The Commodes win this one right here, man. 31-23. I think we can't stop a nosebleed. I think that is more than apparent. With them not having their studs in wide out, I think that they'll be just fine moving the ball. I think Jaden Daniels been a dual threat quarterback. He'll do just fine against us. Watching Bryce. Well, I mean, listen, I can't say it was just Bryce Young because obviously Rico Dowd had a second to career day, back to back from having a career day.
Yeah.
So I doubt we give that up. But from a scheme standpoint, I'm sure they'll be able to do what everybody does. We just lay down and take it like we on Figueroa Ave out here, or if you're in Houston, out there, just laying down.
Yeah, Figueroa, Bissonnette, and Harry Hines. There we go.
There you go.
Now,
if y'all read between
right, and it's kind of disturbing that we all know that, but that's a different conversation for a different show. That's wow. So what was your score, Clip? 31-23 Commode?
31-23.
Got it. Okay.
Commode.
Man, as bad as I want Dallas to get this one, the thing I come back to, Cliff, you just touched on it, was, man, they'll have to surprise me. I just don't see him. I'm having a senior moment. Running back. Who's the running back for Washington?
I know
he's got a hyphenated name. That's all I know. He's got a hyphenated name.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. To quote my man Dwayne Johnson, it doesn't really matter.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Krosky Merritt.
His name is RB1. It don't matter who it is.
There you go. Like The Rock would say, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
It doesn't matter what your name is. For all my WWE guys out there. Yeah, I just think, until I see it, as much as I want Dallas to get this one, as much as they need to get this one, I don't, because, I think they're going to be efficient enough in the run game to make Jaden Daniels even more effective, right? I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to RPO the living piss out of that offense with Jaden Daniels' ability to get on. I think there's going to be a time or three you'll see an explosive play from Jaden Daniels on the ground. And now I know there's been a big emphasis from Gerald Wayne and company about the playing more man coverage. Okay, well, talk to me about that when they don't have their principal guys, right, that you play press man against. Let's get to that then. But I just don't think they'll be able to, they'll have to surprise me. But I do think, because Washington isn't particularly, the beast in the room defensively either. So I think this is a high-scoring affair. I haven't looked at the over and under, but I think these two teams obliterated. I think this is really going to be it's going to be pretty entertaining. It's going to be high scoring, but I think Dallas is going to come up short. I got it. Commode's 37, Dallas 33.
37-33. Okay. And just for the sake of perpetuity, the last two games, their rushing attack from Mr. Hyphen, he went for 111 yards and 61 yards. So if there's ever time for him to get back on track, it's this week, because they giving that thing up, like we said, on Harry Hines Boulevard. Or even Jensen Drive. We could throw that in there from H-Town, Fifth Ward. Shout out to Fifth Ward.
There we go.
So, yeah, if you want to get tightened up for the $40 or less, can't say that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hey, guys, if I could just say something before we wrap it up in all seriousness.
Yeah, go ahead, Gracie.
In all seriousness, if I could just say something. In the past, including today, I told Ryan Flournoy to take his ass back to kick coverage and things of this nature. I've even made allusions to the fact that Cam Newton dresses like Medea sometimes. But I respect these men. I respect these men as athletes and competitors. Flournoy has helped the football team out. And more importantly, if I ever run into Cam Newton, I don't want him to whip my ass. I've seen this guy squab before. He could go. All right.
Yeah, you can go.
So it's all in good fun, yo. Go Cowboys. Thank you for listening.
Go Cowboys. Hey, and let me say this too. Speaking of running into people that you may be shitting on, a lot of people shit on Michael Sam. Michael Sam is not a small guy. Funny 2-part backstory to Michael Sam. He's the first openly gay football player or whatever. I sold him you guys, in my real vocation, I'm a mattress salesman. And I sold him his bed when he was in Dallas about 20.
You're the best. The number one guy. That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let your boy. So 2018. I sold him his mattress, and he's a very frenetic guy. Like his mind be all over the place. Anywho, fast forward to 3 years ago when we covered Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Brown.
LA. Yeah, he was at the spot at the watch party.
Right.
Yeah.
So I saw him at the watch party.
Yeah.
And I seen him. He a pretty big guy.
Big dude.
I was like, man, what's up, bro? He kind of gave me a look like he couldn't place me. I was like, man, I sold you your mattress. He's like, oh man, I hate that, man. That mattress sucked. I was like, yeah, because you ain't let me sell it to you. You just did your own thing. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. So he's a funny, quirky guy, but for all the people who was just talking all that crap about him, he's not a small dude at all.
Yeah.
So you may second guess how you run up on that dude. Just saying.
Not small dudes, and there's a greater than zero chance they're in way better shape than you.
Oh, come on.
You know what I'm saying? You may not be. I'm not calling you old, but you got to be smart. So
you gotta be smart about it. I also say you gotta be smart.
Yes, sir.
It.
That's what Usher said that.
All right, so shout out to Third Ward Columbia real quick, man. H-Town.
Yes, indeed.
Homie out there. He says, before you fellas get out of here, man, who are your early MVP candidates between Baker Mayfield and Dak Prescott?
Baker Mayfield for MVP, Diego Paiva for Heisman.
Okay. So you going to all Latino? Well, not Latino, but you're going. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing because you compared them earlier. All right. With me personally, I mean, records speak for itself.
Yeah.
I believe the Bucs have a better record, so I'm going Baker Mayfield until other results present themselves. But if Dak Prescott is not your top three, you big tripping. Go ahead, D. Brown.
Yeah, I right now I think Baker is at the top of that conversation pretty comfortably just because of the record. If Dallas miraculously goes on some type of run in the back half of the season and find themselves in a playoff conversation, don't see it happening. But if they were to do that and Dak continues at the level that he's been at, I think Dak is clearly in the conversation. I think Dak will certainly get mentioned. But I think it's right now we're coming up. We're on the halfway part of the season, right? Right at it. Just under that. We're just game 8 of 17, right?
Yeah, almost.
So, yeah, I mean, right now you got to go. I would go definitely Baker at the top, and Baker at the top, and then Dak comfortably behind him. Dak one of those gratuitous 2 or 3 first place votes and a whole bunch of second place votes.
Oh, it's okay. So we doing 2021 over again, basically.
Yeah.
He was second place, but like a distance.
23. That's 2 years ago.
23.
Yeah. 23. Yeah. Absolutely.
Man, the years just start to damn run over when you get past 2020.
Yeah, 23. So yeah, that was as a matter of fact, the reason it stings is because he had a terrific, and I mean terrific regular season, well worth of the MVP mention, and then stuck up the joint in the last playoff game against the Packers.
And I'll say this last thing. That year felt more hollow than what he's putting together this year. This year, with totally a lot of missing pieces, he just looks so dialed in with less so-called talent around him. No Zach Martin out there. A younger CD, with a lot of no CD Lamb out there. And, the last 2 weeks, Kevontae Turpin out. He just looked like in total control. Because I know 23 is when he changed his cadence.
Yeah. Here we go.
Right. So he played his ass off. But I think right now, Dak he's really stepping right now, as the YNs would say. He out there stepping for real. And from a guy who I've always liked Dak, but I've been hypercritical almost to the point where I'm like, let's draft somebody to get his ass out of here if he can't get it together. I gotta say, that this year iteration of Dak is the best Dak Prescott I've seen in my life.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of
Besides
14
looking
Romo,
at-
and that he's got that command where he's seen it all. You know, and through the attrition, through the disappointments, you know, I would dare say a little bit of determination to show that, hey, man, I'm not washed. I got it. The word you use was perfect. Command. I mean, he is literally walking out. This is the biggest, most tangible piece of leadership, if I could throw that out there, I've seen from him in his career. And it's been damn fun to watch. It just sucks that, to JC's point, they've got to be perfect in order for them, you know, to be in games, you know, say for the Jets game, to win them. So, but him playing the position, it's as well as he's played it, and hopefully somehow, miraculously, prayerfully, this defense can find something to help complement. Because if he has the off week, what does the Dallas game look like? 34-10? If he has the off week? I mean,
it should look like when we had DeVito out there 4 years ago.
Right. Exactly.
Get my ass curb stomp.
Exactly.
That's what it looked like.
So yeah, but yeah, shout out to Third World Colombian for that question about the MVP conversation, which I'm just hyped that Dak's in, given with all the questions coming into the season. You know, injury, coming off a pretty debilitating injury. The lingering disappointment of the playoff performance from 2 years ago, and he comes out and he's looking like this. Shows a lot about him, his dedication to getting himself in what looks to be remarkable physical shape. He's obviously there mentally, and just playing as well as anybody could play the position. So hopefully he keeps that going.
There it is, man. And hoop, there it is. Shout out to tag team. So, all right, another great show, gentlemen. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for pulling up until next week. Straight no chaser. You know what we do. Shout it up.
Don't have a shot, man, but best believe I'm taking about 3 of them later on. So
there you go.
Y'all be good. Appreciate y'all in the chat. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
A pimp's love is different than a square's love. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, JC. That's how you end the show.